welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Desync. Not so Secret Saturday. One day. One day I will get it. But not today. When we last left off, we started really leveling out this kind of area so that we can kind of work and make this seem a little bigger on the inside. It's like, yeah, it has a secret floor. Ha ha ha. That's cool. But what if it's like a completely secret underground complex? All akin with the Meltology framework. So, that's what we're going to continue to do. And really just kind of hammer in the point of this. Well, a lot of stuff still needs removed, and new stuff needs built, but it's all got to come out some point. So we're gonna build a little line across as best we can, so that we have a marker for the floor. I mean, we do need a floor at some point anyway, so. Better to get it now, right? Okay, so that is our floor. A lot of space, kind of cleared out. The difficult question is going to be ceiling height. Really? That's kind of going to be the big issue we're going to run into. Probably for this entire process. It's just the ceiling is, for each floor, is technically has to be pretty large. So, most likely, we're going to only have like, three more floors below. And one of the things that we're going to want to do while building this is, if we find a cave system, we're going to want to see if we can incorporate it in some regard. And I say this because the Meltology kind of requires you to kind of suspend your disbelief that caves are actually just pieces of building that are some of the hollow bits of the building. So if we can find caves underneath us, that really helps. Oh, there goes my pick. So that's something we need to take into account. Is it an important thing to take into account? Not entirely. Only if it makes sense are we going to do this. And we don't need to carry brick anymore. At least not for right now. Stow the dirt. We might need to... We're probably going to need to haul some stone over here. Get cooking. Which means probably here in the near soon, we're going to have to make a run at the rail hub again. I need to go collect all the coal that's there. There's almost a double chest full of coal. Not so much cobblestone, but definitely coal. So, with that in mind, we can then operate. Or not operate, but just start a hardcore smelting process. Okay, that's good. And back under the ground we go. But I hope as this kind of gets built and I try to desperately explain my thoughts, whole philosophy of this build will make sense. How far do we need to go? 4. So when the time comes, we're gonna actually need to do something about that. Oops. Did not mean to do that, but it happens. Where are we now? Actually, let's go to the other side now. We don't need to. We can just continue on. We'll hit empty space. That's all I wanted to see is if where the empty space is. We're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit some. Don't need to worry. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is the next corner. We're gonna fill in this back end a bit and try and keep this all in one piece, just so I can kind of see where we have to operate. Just long-term wise, it'll help. So a lot of this space dugout is right in front of us. This back end, because I didn't focus on it too hard, isn't. Okay. No big deal. Oh yeah, lighting this is going to be a difficult process. All we got are torches. We don't have any other special lighting. I guess something cool is we could use redstone torches, but I also don't want mobs spawning under here, which is because you know, when you want to show it off, I don't want to fight for my life down here. So, yeah. Oh, maybe we'll replace some torches with ominous light. I don't know. After all, it's kind of what the skylight is for, but the skylight isn't meant to be permanent either. Ugh. Not sure if there's a solution here that will make me happy. Because, you know, part of me thinks it was like, electricity, cool. Buddy, where are you going to get that electric? You got torches. You're in a post-apocalypse world with a melted building. Where is the electric power coming from? Which could also mean lava. But then I would have to triple thick these floors. So, that might be a problem. What else? Sunlight is an option, though it's not a good one. But it would only be, its only use case would be for me to just kind of poke the edges out, kind of like what this is doing, and then have like just windows. Just mini windows, just kind of trying to light the place. Which is also not what I want. Oh, I guess we're going down. So that I'm not quite certain how to light this. Lighting this is going to be like one of the bigger challenges because of the aforementioned lack of sources. I mean, at least the thing will be stone. What really sucks is in some images, some schizoids have just like, this rock looks like petrified wood. What? Brother. One step at a time. Melted bricks. Let's focus on that. Let's ignore the what looks to be petrified wood. Let's go back to the bricks. Why did it melt? We already know how wood can petrify. Get salt water all over it. That's how Venice operated anyway. A lot of Venice's original wooden posts have just fucking solidified and turned into stone. So it's not impossible. It's just, brother, let's figure out the building first. Why did it melt? After we get this layer done, we can also start, well, in hindsight, blasting all this the way I did probably wasn't the smartest move, but we did it anyway. I could go back and get more TNT and then just blast this down like twice and make a new floor. But I already made craters into this ground. They're already causing me trouble. But they did clear out a lot of area, though. We got at least a section. That's good. I got a section kind of flattened out. This is nice. After this, we can kind of look at, not really look, but see what we can accomplish with putting things on this first floor. Because we can kind of work at this at our leisure. This is just a kind of a big melty boy. So what would this, like, metaphorical near tip-top level be looking at? Would it be a lounge, perhaps? That could be a thing. I mean, think of the Space Needle or something, or how like World Trade Center, really any of the tall buildings, like the really high levels, they usually have like an observation deck at some point to observe the surrounding skyline. Now that could be something. This could be like a, or was. This was an observation deck that is currently now melted and smelted and really not having a good time in that kind of aspect. With that thought process, so we could put like tables, bars, chairs. Not that they would kind of be around technically, but we could always just say it was preserved somehow. Plus, I'm also not going for, like, complete squishing. Or maybe I should go with squishing. Ooh. Now there's a thought. Because, you know, if you've ever seen, like, something melt with something heavy on it, it folds downward into itself. That's not a bad idea either. Though I wouldn't even begin to know how to even build something like that. That would require me to mentally map out the entire building beforehand. and have an innate understanding of how the physics work for that, which I don't. I just know that building goes squish. Rocks are heavy. Though, I think it would just get increasingly squished at the bottom, just because, wait, be damned, you're gonna... And how meltology is supposed to work, at least in theory, is it came from bottom up anyway? So it's not entirely impossible? Just very strange. Problem is, we're not even like at like why we're not even very low to the ground yet. So we can't even. It would be a very hard sell to try and do that. So to even think about that, doing it that way would be a different issue. Maybe... No, that won't work. Well, it would work, but I also still don't know how to make sense of it. Could, we can do like the monolith theory that I had to do for vanilla, where every update, I would have to first drain the thing in vanilla, but every update I come back and clear a floor or two. In the monolith in this case, it'd probably be like I go down 3 layers and take the cobblestone with me somewhere. So I could do something like that here. This thing wouldn't be as bad because I do have the ability for diamond tools. A bit more optimistic on, or a bit more eager to use them since they don't break as quick. So I need the diamonds to get more diamonds. When you have 10 or more diamonds, you can start using the diamond tools as tools. But until that point, you should only really use them for mining. So we could do something like that, where after we get our initial like 3 layers, we every so often come back and throw another layer into it. That might be what we do after we get our initial layers in. That way it's planned but not planned. I just have to make mental notes of how big the ceilings are for each one and see if I want to go lower. Like this one is like a 7 high, I think. 3, 6, yeah. This is technically a 7 high ceiling with whatever that is. So like maybe these top layers can be 7, and then a few layers down it's 6, and then 5, then 3, then 2, and then that's it. Because there is no way I'm going to drill out a floor and then fill in the next layer. No. It'll just be squished. But that is a possibility there too. I think that one's probably the better of the options to kind of go with long term if I want to make this like a true big build, super big build. Because I'm sure nobody wants to see me dig a hole for eternity. You already got that with the monolith. I'm sure you guys got sick of that thing. I know I was. I should not dread my own projects by the end of them. Oh, it's a monolith. God. How could I have... The fact that I miscalculated that so bad. It's like, oh, it'll probably only take me a few weeks to dig. 3 months later. Brother, why? I want to go do anything else but stare at this brick. It was worth it long term, but it's still, oof, that initial miscalculation. I'm like, oh, this will take a short amount of time, so let's make it a little bigger. Not realizing a single word I said with that. Damn. I think that's how we're gonna do. We're gonna, after the first few layers, we do want to at least get this kind of set up, and then we're also gonna have to bury this bitch, and 90% of it is already pre-buried. We just gotta kind of flush this with the mountain range, and maybe kill some grass. I'm not sure. If I kill the grass, it's gonna be buried in gravel. That sounds like a good plan to me. Cut out the first few layers, you know, get it set up, kind of make it flush, and then every so often we could come back here and pulverize some more of it. Doesn't sound like a bad plan. And each layer could be something different of what you'd find in a normal building. I'm not sure if residential would be in this particular case. But it is a possibility to look into. But I don't think I'll do res in this. It'll be like office spaces. It'll probably be office spaces, maybe factory-ish. Definitely not a warehouse. This definitely isn't a warehouse. Warehouses don't have floors. They have shelves, and this has floors. So, with that in mind, I'm gonna knock this out. These corners I can knock out and leave knocked out, and I can at least have a mental note of where these are. We got office spaces. I really don't know what's usually bottom floor could be like an old shop that's been squished. A really squished old shop with like that would house like old antiques or something. Yeah, that could work. My inventory is full again. I need to actually build. But we'll be building next time. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me ramble about how to make a building squish itself. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Minecraft Desync. Not so Secret Saturday. Bye-bye!